What was the line he said to you as he traced your tattoo with his finger?
Randy Orton was walking out. He looked at Randy Orton. He said, "You could look like that one day."
He said I could make you look like that
Is
one
that what
day.
he said?
I think so. I think that's it. That's a better line.
It is a better line.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. What's the opposite of a shout out?
Shout down.
Yeah, shout down that guy. I'm Uncle Trip.
I'm the Cooge.
We're going to do a wrestling podcast with...
Youngboy Jam.
You gotta work on that,
Bro, like...
We need to work on your delivery just a little bit.
Yeah, you're really bad.
My notes back up.
Shit.
Alright, so this is gonna be like another Wrestle Questions with Youngboy Jam.
Yep, Wrestle Questions featuring Youngboy Jam. We've got him behind the scenes directing and asking questions and trying to earn his keep.
No, it's not a rap name. He's earning his keep from the Youngboy Temple.
Yep. I can't believe they fucking unionized. Whatever.
Alright. What's our first question there, Youngboy Jammer?
All right, first question. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up and why?
I mean, that's a good question. It's kind of a hard one.
Oh, for me, it was definitely Jeff. Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I have the Hardy Bros down as like a team, yeah.
Yeah, the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and Bubba and Devon.
Yeah, Team 3D. Yeah. That was huge. Like those original TLC matches, like
WrestleMania 17
was Edge the one that speared Matt off the fucking
Jeff.
Yeah,
Speared Jeff 20 feet in the air.
It's gnarly.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy took so many crazy bumps and had wild hair and dressed crazy and had big pants, and I was just such a mark for that as a kid.
It was dope. And dude, the one that came out though, like the whole thing with his fingers and like air humping or whatever, like it sent the girls crazy back then, dude. Like,
me too.
I'm sure.
All right, so Raven.
Okay.
Raven was one of my big ones as a kid because I got that fucking NWO versus WCW game on N64. And because whoever was developing the game liked Raven, they put him on the cover and they put him on all the work, or all the art. WCW didn't want him there because he wasn't a big name. So it's like Hulk Hogan, Sting, Raven. But I loved him. He was just so weird and like edgy for the time and dark and grungy.
I mean, he may not have got over very well back then, but he was still like known.
Yeah, he got over with the hardcore fans.
Yeah, he definitely got over, but not in like that big mainstream sense. He kind of had the same treatment as Vampiro. If I'm like, they both got treated like shit those years in WCW.
Yeah, it ruined their careers.
Yeah, I mean, Vampiro literally says it was the worst time of his life. Like, I mean, for me, Taker, that's like a given for everybody.
And Kane.
Yeah.
Taker and Kane, because they were beefing our whole childhood.
Yeah.
And then the Brothers of Destruction.
But the introduction to Kane wasn't that impactful per se, like for me, because like
we were really young.
We were exactly
that was
like
96.
No,
earlier.
It was after.
It was before Mankind, right?
Yeah, because that King of the Ring's 97, isn't it, or 98? So, because he won that night against Stone Cold, but nobody remembered it because of the Mankind getting tossed off the top of the cell.
Great finish too, because the cell lowered a little bit.
Yeah,
that was good.
I mean, but like Ministry version of Taker, and then you've got Edge and Christian. They're like fucking vampires and shit. Like the Brood. It was all good. And then to go from that, like, did I like the American Badass that much now as an adult? No, not necessarily.
Less now.
Yeah.
Back then I loved it.
But back then I loved it.
Yeah. How could you not?
Him coming out on the fucking motorcycle, rolling around, like it was almost like a torch passing per se, or like a shared thing with him and Steve Austin. Like, I don't know. It was great.
It was 97 that he came out.
97?
As Kane.
Okay, that makes sense.
Post Isaac Yankem and Fake Diesel.
The dentist. Yeah, that's actually one of
Jerry Lawler's evil dentist.
I watched one of the Rumbles or whatever, and you see the Diesel comes out, and I was like, wait a second.
Fake Diesel.
That's Fake Diesel. That's Young Kane.
Yep.
I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Beautiful.
I mean, it worked. Another one for me, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
He was so
heel and
impactful.
face.
Yeah, so impactful. Everybody just chanting "You suck," but him just putting on some of the best matches I've ever seen.
I saw him live and chanted that as a kid in Pensacola. Chanted "You suck" at what has become one of my childhood heroes.
Yeah, and dude, and when he came out for, was it the Greatest Royal Rumble when they were in Saudi, and
Maybe.
everybody in Saudi is just chanting "You suck," I was like, damn. I was like, but he's embraced it. It's become a thing at this point. Like, nobody thinks he actually sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it was just what happened when he first came in. Olympic gold medalist. He should be the big guy, but he wasn't. And it was weird, but it ended up working perfect. Who you got? You got any more?
Rhino.
Rhino.
When he was doing those hardcore matches in WWF at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just really, I loved the gore.
Yeah.
It was like a spear, but it looked even more brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I liked it because, like, the animated Spider-Man growing up, the Rhino character in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, very similar. And when he'd get down and start running or whatever, like, and did the gore, I was like, you know, it kind of has that same stance as Rhino from the fucking Spider-Man cartoons. And it was dope. It was dope.
Right, last one for me, Sting.
Oh.
Because when I was a kid, I had an uncle that watched, and he was like, we didn't watch WWF. We
Okay.
watched WCW. That was it. And ECW sometimes at midnight on a weird station. And it was always clip shows. But yeah, Sting was always a big deal, and anytime he was on, it was like, pay attention, this is Sting, this is important.
Yeah, and see, I don't even remember, like, OG Sting. You know what I'm saying? Like that Ultimate Warrior-esque version of Sting with the
Surfer Sting.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about him.
It was always Crow Sting for me.
Yeah, same. I learned about the older version when WWE put out a little documentary. It's called like The Lost Tapes of Sting or whatever.
Okay.
And it goes back and it's just a lot of backstage interviews with people, Sting talking. There's a good bit with him and old Macho Man. And Macho Man's like, I'm never gonna pay him. And then Sting's like, what? And he's just like, oh, I'll pay you as soon as I can. Like, it's fucking great. Next question.
All right. In what ways is pro wrestling misunderstood?
I mean, for me, I don't think it's very misunderstood anymore. There's still those people that have the preconceived notion that it's all a big sham, it's all fake.
Yeah.
To a degree, they're correct. It is predetermined. There is an outcome that is easy to kind of guess. You can see it coming from a mile away sometimes, but like we're past that. We've come out in the open. It is now sports entertainment. We know there's storylines and dramatization into it, but what the fuck they do, it is not fake in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like that's, for me, that's the only big thing is people still just want to label it as fake.
Yeah.
And it is not fucking fake.
No, it's a very intensive art form and show.
Yeah.
It's old school carnival shit. That's where
for real.
pro wrestling comes from, and that's what it still is. It's a carnival show.
But I mean, take for instance, literally the Logan Paul shit this past Friday. He looked pretty comfortable in there. Like, he came out, did his entrance, whatever, and he was fine. But there were little bits in there where you could see him being uncomfortable, especially because I don't think he was ready for Sammy to get that method acting on him or whatever.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you, even though Logan Paul has millions and millions of eyes on him, he's one of the biggest people on YouTube type shit. Sami Zayn and these people go in there and, like, they act on a whole nother fucking level.
Yeah.
Like, and for half of them, it's not even acting. Like, this is just their fucking life. They've been doing it forever, and they've gotten to a point where, like, character development has led into them just being who the fuck they are. Not everybody, but it has worked that way for some people.
Yeah, quite a few.
But it just goes to show you that, like, even people like that, like, they fucking go out there and it's work for them.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing for them to do, especially right now. They're not talking to anybody. It's just a camera. At least they used to have fans or whatnot, and now it's just you have screens behind them. They're looking at a hard camera, and they're still going out there and, like, delivering
at a high level.
Very high level, and it's great.
Yeah. I think the biggest misunderstanding people still have when they watch it is they're not trying to work you. They're not trying to trick you into thinking that they're really in a live combat situation. They're putting on an art form that has been around for over 100 years, and they're putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not MMA, it's not boxing, it's a show.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
I mean, look at it, it's like, it's physical Broadway, bro.
Yeah.
Very physical Broadway plays, but live.
Yeah.
All the fucking, like, they go out there and it just progresses. It's a non-stop, continual story.
Yeah. With some of the greatest stunt people in the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guarantee you, you see some people that actually do stunts in movies that are like, hell no, there's no way I would have done that.
Yeah,
Like
a Shane McMahon bump.
Yeah, people are just like, fuck that. Like, I'll do some safe shit, but I don't give a fuck. Like, what if you have a landing pad down there? Like, that's high as shit, and I have to go through a table.
Darby Allin stuffed in a body bag full of thumbtacks, tossed onto the ramp.
Yeah.
That's not a stunt people would just take.
No.
That's insanity.
It's crazy.
It's pro wrestling.
But I feel like that's pretty much the only misunderstandings, really. I feel like most people have gotten to the point where they understand what professional wrestling is.
Yeah.
So, hit them with the next one.
What is a manager in pro wrestling? And do you have any favorites?
Spoken today.
He's a little soft-spoken, but I kind of asked him to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's kind of different terms, really, as far as manager goes, because, like, it's not what you would think. It's not a person that's there to, like, run their fucking schedules and, like, actually manage a person. It's not that. It's different.
It's more of a sidekick.
Yeah.
Like, they're there to get the worker in the ring over on the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
They're there to do their little spots to build heel heat to make them bad guys, or to cheer and be faces and make them all look better.
Yeah.
But, like, they've always had their role.
Yeah.
And it's important, and it kind of fades away in certain eras.
It does, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think back to, like, WCW, you had a lot more women, like, as valets, per se. They didn't necessarily give them, like, the manager role in, like, a huge sense, but they came out as, like, valets. But that's what they were. They were there to help put over the talent in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And, I mean, Miss Elizabeth, woman, like, they were great in WCW.
Yeah. And it was they did even better when they would let them be involved with the storylines, like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, or dude, the Macho Man Ric Flair shit, where Ric Flair's just like, "Hey, I'm stealing everything you own." Like, that was crazy. Him and Arn just took all the shit. Like, it was nuts.
Kevin Sullivan booking his own divorce. Booked his in real life wife, his shoot wife, to, like, leave him and fall for Chris Benoit, and that was their storyline. And then she left him and married Chris Benoit in real life.
Yeah, and then
we don't talk about what happened later.
Yeah, we kind of all know what happened.
Yeah. But yeah, Kevin Sullivan was the booker at the time, and he wrote the story for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, then you think now, like, I've got down here Paul Bearer in the 90s, too, around that same era with Taker.
Great.
It was great. Even, don't get me wrong, Paul's voice was a little annoying at times and high-pitched, and it's just like, okay, can you tone it down just a hair?
Yeah.
But, like, he put people over so well. And then to, like, pit Taker and Kane against each other and then bring together Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
Like,
all the swerves he's been a part of.
It was great. Yeah. It was great. Even his send-off when they finally came back together or whatever to do a little tribute for him. Like, that was good. You know what I'm saying? And best in the business today, in my eyes, Paul fucking Heyman.
He is.
He's the best manager in the business.
You want someone to cut a promo, go to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
You want someone to write a story, go to Paul Heyman.
A single story.
Yeah.
Like, give him one task, and he's going to fucking make it one of the best things ever. Like, have some aspects of this Roman storyline since he came back last year been a little weird and not made too much sense? Yes. But Paul has been, like, the key driving force in getting Roman over as this big monster heel.
Yeah, and he's always been super good.
Yeah, he has. I mean, granted, he makes me hate him and not want to see him.
Yeah,
but that's what his job. That's what his job is. And he does it perfect.
Yeah. You can go back as far as watching Paul Heyman before ECW, feuding with the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette, and watching those two go crazy.
All right.
You got to go back and watch the old stuff, but those two together, amazing. Because it's two heels, and they're both cowardly, and they're both dastardly, and everybody wants them both to get their ass kicked. And Paul Heyman, Jim Cornette once said, is the only other manager in all of wrestling history that could make Jim Cornette look like a babyface.
I mean, Jim Cornette, that's like a whole episode in itself on his fucking career.
The rise, the fall, the rise, the fall, the assholeness.
Yeah, like that's a thing in its own right.
Yeah.
For those of us who don't understand, what is a heel and what is a face?
Oh yeah, those are old school carny terms that have been around forever. So a baby face is a good guy.
It's like your hero.
Yeah.
It's a hero villain scenario. Yeah. Essentially what it is.
That's what your heel is. Your heel is the bad guy, the villain. It's not as prevalent these days to be stuck on those. Like, there are a lot of people who are just straight up heels and straight up baby faces, but What's been nice is getting kind of a mix in the middle of guys that are kind of neutral,
Yeah.
like a CM Punk or a Kenny Omega at different times.
Yeah, they had their times where they were neutral factors in the mix, like they weren't either one of them. But
They were like cool heels or vicious baby faces.
I feel like that's hard to put over right now with everything we've got going. I mean, especially with WWE, like their talent roster.
They don't do it.
Their talent roster's it's enormous.
Yeah,
like
hundreds.
it's absurd at this point. And so like all those people who could be graded those like right in the middle type thing, like you never know if they're gonna teeter one way or the other. Like we're probably never gonna see them on TV.
Yeah.
Like and if we do, it's gonna be on like an NXT or an Evolve or a 205 Live, like
Main event.
Yeah, I don't.
A show that people don't watch.
Yeah, I feel like for right now, especially with WWE and as pro wrestling as a whole, we're stuck with like hero, villain, babyface, heel scenario, and it's gonna stick that way. But we're getting more of like more baby faces are turning heel, and we're getting to see a darker side to them type deal.
Yeah.
So. Mm-hmm.
What does the term mark mean, and where does it come from?
That's all you.
All right, so the term is basically somebody that's like a target, like someone that you know you can trick. It's like currently, like a mark isn't really someone that believes something, but it's someone who buys into a character, basically. So you really think Seth Rollins is an asshole because of his character? Like, you're a mark.
That's
believe it.
That's where the kayfabe. That's where I can put the two together. Is like the wrestler staying kayfabe or delivering their shit and not letting you in on their real life shit. That's where I can put the two together. But like the origin of it, like that's all you.
Yeah, they're both old carding terms, kayfabe and mark.
Okay.
But basically, in the carnivals, it wasn't even a pro wrestling thing. It was just carnies in general. They would walk around and they would find someone that was easily trickable, or someone that had a lot of money, and they would literally go onto like the back of their seats at different shows and mark it, or they would walk up to them on their clothes and put some kind of little X or mark on them.
Okay.
So that everyone at the carnival could see it, know that it's a mark, and get after it, take their money. Like the old school carny circuits were dirty.
But yes, how has it evolved though? Like, because it's evolved from that into like now, from my understanding, is like, you're using it as like kind of like a term of endearment, like you approve of or like this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, how did it evolve?
Well, it was someone you could trick later on. It was someone who always bought in, hook, line, and sinker. And now more of a mark is somebody who like thinks something's gonna happen and then they can swerve you every time.
Okay.
So you're a mark because you believe you know better, kind of a smart mark. You know the business, you know the goings on, you know it's a work, but you're still getting tricked, which is a good thing. Like that's how it should happen. They should be able to do that to you. So when people call themselves marks for things, they're like, I'm a fan of that. Like I marked out, I believed in it, and like it really got me.
That's good for the longevity of the business, though, is to keep those moments where people are popping, like, and it's just like, holy shit, you fucking got me this time. Like that needs to keep on going for longevity of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. So, what matches would you suggest for somebody who hasn't watched very much wrestling?
You go first.
Well, one I recently watched that was really good was the main event of All In. Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks put on the first independent show in America since 1963.
Yeah.
The first wrestling show since 1963 that wasn't WWE or WCW to sell over 10,000 tickets.
Yeah, they sold out the fucking arena. It was in Chicago, right?
Yeah. Their main event was the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi versus Rey Mysterio, Bandito, and I can't remember the third off the top of my head.
Was it Ray Horace?
No, it wasn't. Youngboy, you want to look that up?
I remember that match, though.
Yeah, it was a really fun match. Rey Mysterio comes out in a full-on Wolverine cosplay outfit.
Shit.
And he's flying all over the place. All in main event.
Yeah.
Just to shout out that sixth man in the tag match.
2018 when that happened?
Yeah. It was a great event. I don't know if you can go find the entire event, but I know that all that match is free on YouTube.
Yeah, some of those matches are free and up on YouTube. I don't think the whole thing is.
No. The WWE has a lot of really good free matches out, though.
Yeah. I mean, a couple for me. I mean, 4 consecutive or whatever. Triple H, HBK, Undertaker. Those 4 matches all back to back. I mean, I feel like anybody can go sit down and just watch those. Be like, okay, I want to go look deeper into this, and like it'll be a starting point for you to get into wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Who's the sixth man in that match? Still looking it up. I think you can go on YouTube and find Keith Lee versus Zack Sabre Jr.
I still need to do that.
Yeah, that is they worked a few matches together, I think, but there's one that was on YouTube for free that was a really good match. And it was just the two of them flying around, and Keith Lee's a 300-something pound man who legitimately is limitless.
Yeah, fucking 325, doing Spanish flies, jump up splits. Like, man should not be doing those things at his size.
Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best in the world in the ring, and he keeps up with him the whole time. It's great work watching those two.
I would like to see Keith Lee. I mean, like, he's been very absent as of late, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he's one of those people that could benefit from going to a New Japan or a AAA, you know what I'm saying? Which is another question here coming up. But I feel like he's one of those people in that category that could benefit heavy from going somewhere else just because of how versatile he really is.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
All right. Maybe.
Go.
All right. The event had 11 matches with 2 on the pre-show. The main event was a 6-man tag team match with the Golden Elite, which was Kota Ibushi, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, which they defeated Rey Fenix, Bandito, and Rey Mysterio.
Rey Fenix, yeah. I thought it was one of the Lucha Bros, but I couldn't remember which one. And
I knew it was Rey something, but we got fucking. There's too many of them at this point. But yeah, that match was great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fast. You get to see Rey Mysterio, who most people get to recognize still, flying around as Wolverine. Yeah, just tearing it up with the Young Bucks, who are probably the greatest tag team of all time.
And Rey Mysterio is, I mean, side topic, but he's one of those people that kind of got lucky in saving his career after WCW, not wearing the mask and doing the whole thing with Conan and showing his face or whatever. Like, I feel like that almost ruined him for a little while.
Yeah, it would have if they had kept the mask off.
Yeah, but he was able to bring that shit back, and he's legend in every form of wrestling.
Yep. I think a lot of the Royal Rumbles are free on YouTube, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a dick load of them.
And those are just fun to watch. You get to see 30 different people at least. Yeah. You get fun commentary the whole time and people just doing crazy shit.
I don't know if it's on there, but if you can find the greatest Royal Rumble from 2018 in Saudi, watch Titus Slide.
Yeah, check out Titus World Slide. It's probably my favorite botch.
But, I mean, it's Chris Jericho's last match, and it's a 50-man Rumble. I mean, like, it's crazy how many people go in and out of the whole fucking thing. Yeah. What you got next?
All right, what are your favorite match types?
I mean, for me, I wouldn't say deathmatch. Like, deathmatch is, can enamor me and get me sometimes, but hardcore in a sense. I don't want it to just always be a straight up wrestling match or like just straight up high flying shit. But I want like a solid mix. My favorite matches are just a mix of everything. You get that good core wrestling in there, maybe some high flying, but you've got your spots. Like that's my favorite. And I mean, for instance, as of recent, the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker. Yeah. Like that match, still like I want to just keep watching it because it's just so good.
Yeah, that's another good one to go watch if it's still on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it probably is on there. It was like a 9-10 minute little video they had thrown up. It wasn't the whole thing. They had chopped it a little bit, but it
was still a great match.
Worth the watch.
We had the Youngboy watch that, and he was just in awe the entire time.
Dude, it was crazy. I didn't think they were going to do shit like that. Like the tack spots, the ladders, just everything.
Yeah. Ladder matches in general.
I mean, yeah.
I love a ladder match. There's so many high spots. It's a mix of hardcore and pure wrestling. And there's just so much freedom to it. Yeah. And you see so many amazing ones. Like we've talked about it before, but Kevin Steen, El Generico, and ROH. Back in Ring of Honor, which I think is free on YouTube as well. So go back on that.
I think their whole little feud is.
Yeah, and they had some amazing ladder matches and spots that I will not ruin.
I mean, shit, if you just want to go find something on YouTube to watch, find the Honor Club shit and just watch a bunch of their top 10s or something like that. Like, those are all really good, too. What you got now?
What is missing in modern-day wrestling?
I mean, lack of gimmicks. We've said it before, talking about it, but I feel like it's a lot of cookie cutter bullshit. For real, a lot of people are just, no one's got that creativity anymore. And I wouldn't say that they don't have the creativity, but like it's hard to, because there's so many people in wrestling. You've had people do so much shit. Like it's hard to really stand out.
Yeah, I miss real gimmicks too, where there's not silly characters, but where it's full on characters, and we get to see people like The Fiend. Yeah. Like, the Fiend is great and everyone loves him, and it's partially because of his character and all the evolution that his gimmicks have gone through, which has been great. Look at Luchasaurus. He's kind of silly, but everyone loves a dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, he was with WWE, gets released, goes down to Mexico, and then he's working with Lucha Underground. He's part of that little Blue Moon Snake Tribe thing, that was Thunder Rosa, come to find out a little later on. And gets his head chopped off, comes back as a dinosaur.
He's working matches with Jungle Boy, and now it's a boy and his pet dinosaur.
Did you know that Jungle Boy is Luke Perry's kid? You know who Luke Perry is?
Yeah, I know who Luke Perry is.
Yeah, that Jungle Boy is his son. I just learned that.
That's why he's so goddamn pretty.
But when I found out and I went and looked, the long hair is kind of hard to get past. But when you put them side by side and picture him with shorter hair, you can tell.
Man, that's crazy.
I did, yeah. Because, I mean, shout out Riverdale, I guess. But Luke Perry was in that shit, and I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, me neither.
So, I mean, that's cool.
I love a death match.
I know you do. You're the biggest fan of death matches.
Yeah, I love a Nick Gage Schlack match. I love Casanova Valentine. Just basically any modern day deathmatch guy I love to watch right now. And there's so much free on YouTube if you want to go get that weird bloody metal fix.
No, if you want to start down that, go watch the Vice thing on Tournament of Death 15.
Yeah, with
Masada.
It's
a slow start and slow entrance into it. It gets crazy the last 20 minutes, but it's an introduction before you just full-blown send yourself into people killing themselves, essentially.
Yeah, CZW is something we'll have to go talk about at some point, too, and just deathmatch stuff in general.
CZW deserves its own video because that company's done so much shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some other favorite match types?
I mean...
How about some you don't care for?
I hate the super gimmicky matches.
Yeah.
Especially back in the day. I don't know what Vince Russo putting everything on a pole. I hope I never have to see that. Well,
Judy Bagwell on a pole, which ended up being a forklift.
It was stupid. That was some of the dumbest shit in the world. Those super gimmicky matches, I'm over.
All right, what about the newer weird gimmicky matches like the Orange Cassidy Chris Jericho match?
Well, see, that's different.
The Mimosa thing.
But there was still legit good wrestling in the mix of all that, and they just had a hot tub with mimosas in it on the outside. That's different.
Hilarious.
It's, to me, some of the cinematic matches, some of them have been a letdown. Not all of them, but that one they did with Matt Hardy, Sammy at the compound, I could have done without that. That was way too gimmicky for me.
I like all those though. I'm weird. I like that stuff though. I like that it's new and they're experimenting.
It's funny and it's tacky or whatever, but when I'm paying for a pay-per-view, that's and it's $50 for the damn pay-per-view, I don't want the gimmicky shit. I want solid matches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have a big preference on what I don't want or what I do want. I prefer that good mix of hardcore and good wrestling.
Yeah. I like an I Quit match.
Oh, yeah, because half the time it doesn't even end with the person saying I quit. They just pass the fuck out.
Yeah, but it's a great gimmick because it's two people who are strong and you have to force another person to say, I quit.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, they're not going to.
Oh, an Iron Man match.
We haven't had one of those in a long time, in WWE at least.
I like that. I like that they're used so sparingly because it makes them feel very important.
One of the last ones was it Randy and Cena?
I don't remember.
07, 08, I want to say they did something like that.
The ones I remember are Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Back in the day where Brock just throws a new element into the match style and brings in a chair, cracks Angle in the head with it, takes a DQ loss, and then just pins him and gets one up. It was a great work.
Yeah, I think.
I don't like a lumberjack match that much.
If done right, it can be okay.
Yeah, but I haven't seen one done right in a while.
No, most time it's just you storm the locker room around the ring, and then you got half of them oh no, I'm not gonna help, and then one person's fuck it. Yeah. It's boring at this point. It doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah. Piranha match. They need to bring it back.
A what?
You've never seen the piranha match?
No.
It's famous. Yes, there's a tank of piranhas in the center of the ring.
No, I did. They did that on that. World Society X.
Oh, Wrestling Society X? They did that?
Yeah, on Wrestling Society X, there was these two dudes who were playing these Italian, guys or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they were going after I can't remember what the other group was. But they were going back and forth, and you had to like put your opponent inside a piranha tank and then close the lid on it, and they threw the Italian dudes in the piranha tank and then closed it and shit like that.
Yeah.
I've seen that on there.
Oh, there was an old famous match in Japan where 2 guys did that, but it was just an open tank in the middle of the ring.
With like real piranhas in it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, hilarious
Jesus.
though. I love a cheesy match sometimes.
Sometimes. Hit me with the next one.
What current wrestlers would do well in Mexico or Japan?
Well, I mean, I said it just a second ago. Keith Lee, I feel like he'd benefit a lot from leaving.
Yeah, if you threw him in New Japan, maybe put him with Bullet Club or something crazy. Chaos.
Maybe. I don't think him going into a faction over there would really help him too well. I think he would need to get over first. Then
It wouldn't take long.
no.
He's so good.
Him and Will Ospreay, I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
I'd love to watch that.
Yeah. Will Ospreay could do really well in Mexico.
Yeah, I
Put
mean,
him in a 6-sided ring, jumping all over the place.
I would love to see that. Honestly, that's one thing I loved about early days of TNA. I loved the 6-sided ring. A lot of people didn't like it, but I fucking loved it. I thought they had so much more versatility to run around and not do more, but I feel like you could have a lot more going on in the ring.
Yeah, it was a really big ring too.
Yeah.
This AAA is something we should probably invest a little time in.
Yeah, I've seen a few things from it, but mainly my big introduction into it was that Vampiro documentary. Like, I didn't know everything
Which is a great documentary that's free on Tubi.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much went into AAA and, like, how extravagant they went type deal. Like, they try to almost stay on par with New Japan with the theatrics.
Yeah. Ricochet.
Oh, yeah, he needs to be Prince Puma again.
Yeah, he'd do well. He could even go to Japan and start working Will Ospreay again. They had that great tour of matches.
He could go anywhere and be insanely successful. He's one of, if not the most underutilized person on WWE's Raw roster right now.
And I think last time I checked, he's there till at least 2023. He had signed a contract extension.
That's not good.
Nope. Yeah, he could go anywhere and get over. He'd be great. Moose.
Yeah.
Moose in Mexico, I think, would do amazing.
Well, Moose was part of that, not OG, but he was on Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see him going back down there and getting over, especially after he, just lost in Impact. He's not a champion anymore. And he's probably not going to get that big of a push because they're doing this whole Kenny Rich Swann shit. So I think he could benefit pretty well from leaving Impact.
Yeah.
Get more eyes on him.
Crazy Steve.
Oh, see, I don't know too much about Crazy Steve, honestly. I know him and Rosemary have the thing or whatever, but, like,
Decay.
I didn't keep up with him.
He's really good. He's just one of those guys that's been overlooked because there's been so many phenomenal workers in the business the last decade. He's like 36, 37.
See, one thing that confused me when I first saw Crazy Steve, I was also getting into the Ring of Honor shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Danhausen. The fucking face paint. For the longest time, I thought they were the same fucking person. And then I saw a Crazy Steve bit and how he, like, acts or whatever, and then how weird Danhausen is.
Oh, here's a perfect one. Kevin Owens. You've seen Kevin Owens anywhere else in the world, I think he's as big of a star, if not bigger than he is now.
I feel like he's at that point in his career where I think he's almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's peppered. He's done a lot of hardcore shit. I feel like he's at that point where maybe 2-3 more years, but I have a feeling he's at that point of maybe being done and then coming back on, like, not a Legends deal, but popping up in places randomly.
I think a dream for me would be to watch him and Penta El Zero Miedo in AAA having a feud, like maybe over the package pile driver, something like that. Kevin Owens and him just doing full heel versus heel beatdowns.
But that doesn't have to be in AAA, bro.
It could be AEW too, but I think it'd be really cool down in AAA.
Yeah.
And the question was who would do well in Mexico and Japan.
But I mean, okay, now we're talking about this though. What do you think's going to happen after this Chris Jericho Stone Cold session? Like, do you think that this is actually going to be an open door thing, or do you think that it's just a one-off because of his history with the company? Because Triple H keeps saying, like, we're willing to work. Like, the door is open.
I think that they may keep doing these things. Stuff like this. Stuff that's outside of the wrestling world. Because I don't think that this is what Vince pays attention to.
Yeah.
I think he may clear things like this, but I don't think he's as much concerned with it as he is with the actual wrestling.
I mean, not so much just the wrestling, but like just working with other companies. Like I don't mean I don't see them bringing another big name in or whatever for an interview type deal, except for maybe like Sting or Paul White coming back because like he left on pretty good terms and like doing interviews or shit. But
Yeah, doing podcasts.
yeah, I don't see. I don't know, dude. Because like, what if they do another like, what if we get like another cruiserweight open thing or something like that, or
Let WWE host a tournament, open door style.
yeah, and then actually let everybody come back over like they used to. Because when I saw Coda in WWE, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. They didn't use him well.
No, but I went and watched that whole tournament when I found out he was in that.
Yeah, and then you get down a rabbit hole of who is Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, Coda the Booty Ibushi. I said it.
Yeah, you did. You're a beautiful man. All right, you got anybody else?
I mean, there's a lot more. I'd like to see, maybe not necessarily go to New Japan or AAA, but I'd like to see Adam Cole leave and go to AEW. I'd like to see Finn Balor leave and go to New Japan again. I mean, I got a good few I'd like to see, but I feel like they're unrealistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very, very unrealistic.
That's pretty much all I've got on that. There's not a whole lot because it's just there's no way it's ever gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, it's fair.
Hit me with the next one.
If you had to kiss a male wrestler, who would you kiss?
I refuse to fucking answer this. I'm secure in my sexuality with my fiance. But this guy likes to fuck wrestlers, so I'll let him answer it.
Brock Lesnar. It's partially untrue. It'd be Brock Lesnar, though. I mean, imagine the story.
What's the story?
I kissed Brock Lesnar.
Okay, continue.
That's all you need. I mean, obviously, there would be some kind of insanity leading up towards it. There has to be. Oh, I mean, Kurt Angle got to do it.
Kiss Brock Lesnar?
Oh, yeah. Plug that in whenever we edit the video. Plug that picture in. Yeah. Brock Lesnar kissed him on the lips.
Maybe I can find like a GIF or something and actually just like play it.
Yeah.
All right.
Next question.
If you could invite 3 wrestlers to watch WrestleMania with you, who would they be? And try to agree on 3.
Agree on 3? That's hard.
Yeah. No, it'll be all right.
See, I have like people in mind, but at the same time I don't because of how critical they were of themselves and of the product. Like, I'd love to sit down and watch wrestling with Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Ric Flair, like anybody.
Any of the legends.
But they're so critical and they see so many things that we don't see. Like, Jake the Snake, when he was on Joe Rogan or whatever, they ended up watching a little bit of the David Arquette matches and stuff like that. And, like, David Arquette got mad and stormed out. And to Joe Rogan and everybody, they were like, oh, there was nothing to him. But Jake was like, nah, he got fucked over here. Like, go back. And then, like, broke it down and explained more in depth. And I feel like that would kind of ruin the watch experience. So, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Vampiro.
Oh, yeah, I could sit down and probably watch anything with him.
Yeah, Vampiro would be fun. And you know what? I know this one's going to be crazy and no one will understand it. But they're buddies, so I think it'd be a great dynamic to add in. New Jack. New Jack and Vampiro have always been close friends. Like, I would love to sit down and hang out with a 50-year-old New Jack.
No, dude, because he's still crazy as shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Hell no, dude.
All right, no New Jack.
No, I would never be in the same room with New Jack more than 5 fucking minutes.
That's on my bucket list.
Have fun.
I want to be friends with him so much.
Have fun, dude. After mass transit and then all this CZW with a fucking sword on the end of a chain, like, hell, that man is crazy as fuck. He literally went into his matches wanting to kill people, trying to kill them. Fuck that. How many times he shanked that dude? Like 16 times?
He stabbed him 9, but they charged him with 14.
Like, actually stabbed a dude.
Yeah.
In the match.
He deserved it.
What the fuck ever, bro.
He threw Vic Grimes off of a scaffold and tried to kill him, and I think he deserved that too. Vic should have called him.
Dude, get the fuck out of here.
We'll do New Jack in a whole video on his own one day, because he's amazing.
Yeah,
and terrifying.
I'm not New Jack. I'm cool with Vampiro.
Tommy Dreamer? I think he's a legend that wouldn't be over analytical.
Nah.
He'd just hang out.
RVD.
Oh, RVD would be fun.
Yeah. I would like to sit down with RVD.
All right. Vampiro and RVD.
Those are definitely solids. What about...
someone younger?
Yeah. Darby.
Oh, yeah. Darby would be great.
'Cause he just... eye for visuals and just wrestling, and his like outlook on things is so different.
Yeah,
Like,
it'd be good just to hang out and pick his brain.
yeah, well, imagine sitting down with like that core three and them pinging off each other, and like that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to sit down with Darby Allin and like talk to him.
Yeah. You should listen to his Unrestricted, the AEW podcast.
I'll have to do that.
Oh, it's so good. He's a very interesting guy.
Well,
Film school dropout, skater.
Yeah, I watched Vice did a thing with like new and upcoming wrestlers a few years, like 5 years ago or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and on the
you
very
told me
first
about
episode, like the first third of it is about Darby, like moving down to Florida, working with Evolve, and like showing his how he's skateboarding and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
they talked a lot about him, and I was like, okay, this makes me. He was like a normal dude.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's just this badass fucking hardcore wrestler. Like, I think that's a good core three.
So we're going with Vampiro, RVD, and Darby Allin.
Correct. Yeah. Because, like, that's a big mix. Vampiro and RVD come from, like, a same time frame almost, but Vampiro was a little bit before.
Yeah.
He came prior, so he's got a little more knowledge. And, like, with Vampiro, he went from Canada straight to Mexico. Like, he didn't...
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do anything in the States or any indies like that. He went straight to Mexico to get over. And he did, and they hated him for it, but he went the tough, like, rough route.
Yeah.
And then his feud with Conan, and then Conan leaves, and the next they're both in WCW together. That shit restarted back up. Like, I don't know, it'd be cool because they all come from a little bit of a different time period in wrestling.
Yeah. I almost said just the New Day. Just hang out with those three and watch, yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun, but also it could be a little crazy.
Oh, I would also kiss Jake the Snake Roberts. So I feel like he'd make me feel safe.
Would you kiss Big E after he fed you pancakes from inside his pants?
His singlet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be a great story to tell later.
Yeah,
you know?
Big E, his little onesie thing or whatever. Big E had a thing for a long time where he kept pancakes inside of it, and he'd come out to the ring and just start pelting people with his crotch cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He used to shove them in people's mouths or whatever. He'd like have them in the ring, be wrestling, and the next thing you know, he's pulling it out and like shoving it in people's faces. Yeah.
He also comes out in a very large coat, and then from the ring, after the entrance is done, he chucks it at one of the commentators.
Every time.
Yeah. It's hilarious and horrible.
What's the next one?
What two single wrestlers would you put into a tag team in the WWE and the AEW?
Singles?
Or you can steal from two other tag teams if you want to pick apart.
Yeah.
Like for AEW, I could see Wardlow and Jake Hager.
Mm,
Like unlikely allies that come together because they're not getting a shot at any other gold, but they want to be champions. So they chase down the tag team titles.
yeah, but I don't see that working because of everything that's already happened with the two of them. That storyline.
Well, no, you break them up right
Yeah.
after they lose the straps, and then they go into singles feuds again. I think it'd be a fun pairing, though, watching two really dominant guys who hate each other.
It could. It's just that's always that factor, though. It's like, both can they work together, and then you constantly have to deal with the like one match they're just fighting the whole fucking time, and then they lose type deal. Like,
Yeah. It's a short one, but it'd be good.
it could be.
I'm going to steal one that you've told me off camera or on a separate video before. Paul White, Marco Stunt.
Man, fuck off.
It'd be such a fun pairing. It'd be like you walking around with Youngboy Jam all the time.
I mean, it could be funny. I mean, but that as a tag team, like that, yes, needs to happen. I don't even know how tall Marco Stunt is. I just know he's
Short.
short. He's like 4 foot something, and then you got 7 foot Paul White.
Yeah, and
Like,
you can do the old Andre spots, like Marco stands up on his shoulders, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not enough weight to really hurt him.
Yeah, it could be be great.
It'd be a
And
really
this is
fun one.
I'm bringing TNA Impact into the mix. ODB and Otis. That is like something I want to happen.
I know, you've been talking about that for months.
Like, that could be the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You got ODB just going, oh yeah, and then dude, just imagine, because like the ODB Eric Young thing, hilarious.
Yeah.
But Otis is another breed, dude. That's hands down. I haven't laughed more in my entire life when it came to wrestling, and it's not like in a bad way. He's genuinely that funny. I love him, dude.
When he won the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. just drops it into his hands, like, and then he's just carrying around his little lunchbox money with like meat sticks and stuff in it. That's my dream tag team though. ODB and Otis.
Otis and R-Truth. The blind leading the blind. The whole time. They're both still solid in the ring and they're hilarious, but neither of them ever know what's going on.
True.
So you just have them blindly start getting some wins together.
It could work. It could be funny doing it. But I mean, that's really all I got for those. I don't have too many singles that I would like to pair together. I like pretty much where people are.
Yeah. I think Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander would be better than him and Shelton.
Yeah, I mean, they both get that same kind of build that could make for some fast-paced tag team action.
Yeah, I think they'd work well together.
Yeah,
I mean, they're both great singles.
Outside of WWE, I could see that being a good tag team over like New Japan or something.
Yep.
I think that's all I got. What you got for next one, or is that it? I mean, what we got?
All right, I hear you guys bring him up all the time. Who is Kenny Omega, and why is he such a big deal?
I mean, you can leave it at that.
Well, firstly, I believe he's the first Gaijin to ever win the G1. Carl Anderson went to the finals in 2012, but he didn't win.
Okay.
Kenny won, so he's the first foreigner to ever win that. So, he just changed the game. Like, he made New Japan more accessible to Western audiences.
Yeah.
He was their main focus with Okada for a while. They put on 4 of the greatest matches of all time. Like, those are matches that you may have to pay or bootleg to find, but they're worth it. Like, they're that good. And
How many times was he PWI #1 wrestler? Was that 2 or 3 years in a row?
Yeah. And I mean, the guy, he's used to compete in BJJ. Like, the guy, he's over with everybody, even as a heel. He's done all these crazy, long, well-told stories that he's told himself.
And then even before that, him and Coda doing the whole Golden Lovers thing or whatever, like, they really got over as a tag team for that, too. And then to split them apart, that was a great story. Them splitting apart and going against each other. Like, Kenny was a huge, huge deal when he went as a singles competitor, because he changed so much for everybody.
Him and the Bucks are why I knew about the Bullet Club. Finn Balor's Prince Devitt was amazing in it. AJ Styles amazing when you go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But when Kenny Omega was leading it is when I found out.
Yeah.
Like, that's how cool he's helped to make wrestling again. Him and the Bucks and other people along the way. Mm-hmm. But he's been like the big focus.
Yeah. I mean,
he's the best in the world.
Calls himself like the god of pro wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he's about to go on this belt collector tour, and it fits because he's that fucking good.
Yeah. And he was one of the main components of founding AEW.
Oh yeah.
It was Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega.
And I like that how big of a nerd he is.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing the whole AEW games thing, and like we got an actual game coming out, a couple mobile games, like, and he's huge into that stuff, and he's the perfect person to actually head that shit up.
I mean, his gimmick is basically a video game character.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the girls coming out and fucking sweeping and
when
shit.
When he's the cleaner.
Yeah.
But I mean, he comes out, he does these moves you don't think are possible. He hits so hard that you just watch and you're like, how does that not literally knock people unconscious the way he lands things?
I think
because he's so good.
His adaptation of strong style, like, he made it his own fucking thing. And it took me a long time to really understand what that was, and I figured it out thanks to Shinsuke Nakamura a little bit, going back and just like watching a history of him and them explaining like what that style really was. And it's not it's more of like how you are in the ring and like your theatrics going into your moves. Like, he adapted that and made it his own. Like, when he knees somebody and is about to put him in a one-winged angel, and you can see him just like build up, or he's going to hit a V-trigger type shit, like, he puts a lot into it. He just changed how it is.
I mean, you can see how much of a nerd he is just by his finishing moves. Mm-hmm. The one-winged angel is literally named for Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Because he kind of is that right now. He's the final boss. If you can beat him, you're the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to go in one day and kind of explain the rest of that, though, like strong style and King's Road style and the different kinds of where pro wrestling came from.
Yeah, because there's still a lot of it that I don't understand.
Yeah. Like, we'll do some deep dives on that and come back with it. All right, moving on.
Would you guys consider showing me some submissions sometime?
Okay, we finally made it to the end. Go fuck yourself. I'll make a list, and Tripp can do whatever the fuck he wants because you're just going to submit to him.
I reached out to Bad Luck Lim, and he is also willing to be involved.
Oh, okay.
So you'll have both of us to do some submissions with you, on you, to you, through you. Jeez. Cooj will make a list. How many do you want? How many you want locked up on?
As many as you can handle.
Dear Lord. I'm the kid.
I'm Uncle Trip.
We're done. Don't you say anything.
You say nothing!